Marcus Robinson is Donald Trump's handpicked North Carolina gubernatorial candidate. Now, Marcus Jebediah Robinson had a problem. He liked gooning a little too much. And inevitably, all of that gooning got him caught. Now, here's the issue. Marky Mark Robinson has already famously quoted Adolf Hitler on his Facebook. He already had done that. Now, this wouldn't be that big of an issue. I mean, he's a black man at the end of the day, right? You're like, I mean, there is like a level of plausible deniability that you can apply in this circumstance. And you can be like, oh, that's the old me. Like, I don't believe that. Except, no, he literally defended it in 2021. He was like, I guess history books are also pro-Hitler because they quote Hitler. He doubled down. Then at a Moms for Liberty summit in July, Robinson fervently defended his choice to quote the genocidal leader of the Nazi Party, implying that doing so without context is not akin to endorsing his words or actions. In other posts, Robinson minimized the horrors of the Holocaust, claimed a satanic Marxist had made the movie Black Panther to pull shekels out of black audiences, likened women getting abortions to murderers, and derided gay people as filth and maggots. Not with the F, but with the M, which is very interesting because you're right there. Why didn't you just say the other thing? Like, you're right there. This is all the stuff that was readily available before, by the way. This is part of the reason why he was already very unpopular in the North Carolina governor race, just so you understand. So the new that has come out on Mark Robinson is just basically, repeating the old He also expressed archaic views about women's role in society, telling a Charlotte area church in 2022 that Christians are called to be led by men. God sent women out when they had to do their thing, but when it was time to face down Goliath, he sent David. Not Davida, David, Robinson said at the time. And yet Robinson's gubernatorial win would turn the state's executive branch, its last Democratic holdout, red, effectively locking Democrats out of a state they had once predicted would be their stronghold in the South. Robinson's likely opponent come November will be attorney Josh Stein, the Democratic favorite. And that is his opponent. Josh Stein is also cooking him in the polls even before this new announcement. Here it is, by the way. Some folks need killing. It's time for somebody to say it.
It was a time when we used to meet evil on the battlefield, and guess what we did to it? We killed it. We didn't quibble about it. We didn't argue about it. We didn't fight about it. We killed it. Some liberal somewhere is going to say that sounds awful. Too bad. Get mad at me if you want to. Some folks need killing. It's time for somebody to say it. It's not a matter of vengeance. It's not a matter of being mean or spiteful. It's a matter of necessity. It's time to call out those guys in green and go have them handled.
Who are the guys in the green that he's talking about? So I'm not going to make fun of him and obviously point to the Key and Peele sketch that immediately comes to mind here that seemingly is a direct carbon copy of what Mark Robinson's getup looks like, down to the mother holster for his phone on his belt. But goddamn, I'm pissed. Royally pissed. Okay, anyway.
Hello, and welcome to the 5th annual meeting of the Tallahassee Black Republicans. Now, I'm pissed. Royally pissed.
Another thing that was known beforehand was that he was a gooner. Mark Robinson, the Republican candidate for governor of North Carolina. This came out on September 3rd by The Intelligencer, New York magazine. Mark Robinson really used to love porn, according to the guys at the porn store. This was a story that came out at the beginning of this month. Now, from 1990s all the way into the early 2000s, Mark Robinson frequented a porn store in North Carolina, okay? A 24-hour porn video shop in Greensboro. Who spoke with the North Carolina investigative website, The Assembly. He says Robinson was coming in to watch videos in a private booth as many as 5 nights a week. The man, who is beautifully named Louis Money, said that at one of the stores he worked at, gents, patrons could buy videos for $50 each or preview them in private booths for $8. Every night that I worked, which would have been 5 nights a week, I saw Mark, Louis Money said. He was spending a good amount of money. Robinson previewed at least 2 tapes a night per money. He was a certified gooner. He would go to the porn store to crank one out literally twice a night, 5 times a week. I will share this every chance I get because Mark Robinson still hasn't paid my buddy Lewis for his porn purchases, and anyone who's that financially irresponsible has no business being our governor. Oh my God. He was not only a gooner, but he refused to pay his goon debt? How do you go into debt cranking, dude? The lieutenant governor owes me money by the Trailer Park Orchestra. Okay, I'm putting North Carolina so much higher than Long Island. It is now officially one of the greatest states in this beautiful country. Down to the nipple-pierced guy. I love this state. North Carolina, you are beautiful. I apologize. I was unfamiliar with your game until now. This is a song by I guess the Trailer Park Orchestra, and the person who's singing is Louis Money, an owner of a porn store that the current lieutenant governor of North Carolina, the state, frequented quite a bit. And he frequented it so much that he apparently owed the guy Louis money. He owed him, he had porn debt. Now that you are primed with the knowledge of what Mark Robinson is, from the Adolf Hitler support to being a massive gooner, let's take a look at what K-File found in his investigative reporting.
We start with a CNN exclusive in our politics lead. CNN's K-File has uncovered shocking new details about the Republican nominee for governor of North Carolina. He is the state's current lieutenant governor. He is a man who says a lot of wild and offensive things. His name is Mark Robinson. A CNN investigation finds that Robinson posted on a porn site starting in 2008. He described himself on the porn site as a, quote, black Nazi, and he wrote posts expressing support for reinstating slavery. And that's just the stuff we can tell you on television. CNN's Andrew Kaczynski did the digging, broke the story, and he spoke with Lieutenant Governor Robinson today. I want to warn viewers that this report includes some disturbing and rather graphic comments. Andrew.
Now, you might find yourself asking the very serious question here. Absolutely, who the would write comments on a porn website? Sometimes when I'm in the throes of cranking it, I often ask that same question. I'm like, who the is writing comments? And it's always usually like bots. Right? Turns out, current Lieutenant Governor of North Carolina is the answer to that question. Okay? You are a real gooner. I tip my hat to you, sir.
First, tell us what you discovered here.
I want to walk people through just some of them. Take a look right here at this one. In one post, Robinson called himself a, quote, black Nazi. And when describing then President Barack Obama, writing, quote, I'd take Hitler over any of the that's in Washington right now. It even goes beyond that. Another disturbing post, Robinson defended slavery, writing, quote, slavery is not that bad, and I wish they would bring slavery back. Okay,
there's definitely something wrong with, like, I guess this is like an even more severe version of like what Republicans always fantasize about in terms of like what their role would look like in a libertarian dystopia. It's like, dog, you do Uber Eats right now. What makes you think you would not be a serf under a ANCAP style governance? Like, why do you think things would change for you? And the same question could be presented to Mark, which is like, dude, you're black. Why do you think you would not immediately be categorically enslaved under a white supremacist governance? Like, what are you saying? This makes no sense. I often talk about whiteness as a socio-political construct, right? And it is, especially in the United States of America, it means like proximity to power, and whiteness is defined by what it's not, and what it's not is black. The one group of people that will never be under the white umbrella is black people. So if you're a black man being like, oh man, slavery's not that bad, can't wait to buy me some slaves, is like, no, dude, that wouldn't work that way. It would not work that way at all.
At CNN.com were made on the message board of a porn website called Nude Africa. And Jake, in addition to those posts, he also expressed views on Nude Africa that sharply contradict his current policies as a socially conservative candidate for governor. For example, he has been vocally anti-transgender, but look at what Robinson wrote on the porn message board more than a decade ago, writing that he, quote, liked watching transgender porn, adding, quote, that's effing hot, and called himself a, quote, perv.
He's a chaser! Bro, classic. Oh my God. Also, K-File, what are you saying? That doesn't mean he's pro, that doesn't mean he's pro-trans, dude. That just means he's a chaser. A lot of transphobes are. Alex Jones comes to mind.
In another thread that was discussing the story of a woman who said she was raped by her taxi driver while drunk, Robinson wrote, quote, "And the moral of this story, don't F a drunk white bitch."
So he wrote all of this stuff years ago before he got into politics. How are you sure that it's him?
Yeah, so CNN, Jake, we found that Robinson consistently used that same username, Mini Soldier, that he used on Nude Africa in all of his social media. You can see it here. He used it on Pinterest, Black Planet, YouTube. He even used it as his Twitter handle. His full name was also listed on Nude Africa, and an email we found he used on Nude Africa, he used on several other websites. Now, the biographical data from multiple websites using the name Mini Soldier matches Robinson exactly, the exact date of birth, his hometown, the fact that his mother worked at an HBCU, that his favorite episode of The Twilight Zone is number 22.
Oh my God. This is like when gray names come into chat and say some unhinged and then MHUD finds out like their current geographical location in like under 30 seconds. And then we look at their tweets and they're like defending pedophilia. These people have no OPSEC, dude. They have no OPSEC whatsoever. They just straight up are out there. They're just out there living their lives, saying some insane, unhinged shit, and with not a care about who sees it.
Then, when he was just a common citizen. So what did Lieutenant Governor Robinson have to say about all this today when you talked to him?
So Robinson calls the story trash. He says it's not him. Here is just a little bit of that interview. Lieutenant Governor Robinson, thank you so much for being willing to talk to us. I think we'll just jump right into it. Do you deny that this account is you?
Well, first off, let me say thank you so much for allowing me to come here and clear the air. We absolutely do. This is not us. These are not our words, and this is not anything that is characteristic of me, nor has it ever been.
How do you explain all of the matching details on this profile? The profile on Nude Africa lists your full name as Mark Robinson. The email listed on the account is an email that you have used elsewhere on the internet, including with your photo. You have used that name, Mini Soldier, on multiple social media.
I think the email is literally like his name and his birth date too, which is what makes it even funnier. Because like all the way back in 2010 when he was working the assembly line of a furniture store, ain't nobody is gonna like use his identity like that. If you want to rule out the possibilities of some long, convoluted, complicated operation to like besmirch the reputation of Mark Robinson, like it doesn't make any sense given the time frame when he was just like a random ass guy.
Look, I'm not going to get into the minutia of how somebody manufactured these salacious tabloid lies, but I can tell you this. There's been over $1 million spent on me through AI by a billionaire son who's bound and determined to destroy me. The things that people can do with the internet now is incredible. But what I can tell you is this. Again, these are not my words. This is simply tabloid trash being used.
The funniest part about it is that even if he runs with this obvious lie, he said his AI is such a good boomer way to deflect. It just also corresponds to like shit that he has done publicly, right? Like he was a gooner and he's up there posted with like a dude who was running the goon store being like, yo, that's my homie. I mean, he wasn't, I say he was a gooner. Okay, scratch that. I apologize. Chalk that up to the misinformation column. He is a gooner. Ain't nobody is dropping all the gooning. If they're dick deep in Nude Africa forums talking about how they love trans porn and how pervy they are or whatever in 2010, and then they go into porn debt. I don't think this man has stopped gooning. Now that we know Mark Robinson used his name Mini Soldier everywhere, including porno forums, people like Girl Boss Woman on Twitter can dig up his other weird hobbies, like taking photos of his Nazi soldier dolls. Oh, these are dolls? Oh my God. Oh my God. He's a real freak. Some very nice looking Germans here on Mini Soldier. Some great poses on them too. Another excellent looking group of Germans. I can't imagine any 1/6 World War II collector wouldn't want to own. Special thanks for sending them in and sharing them with us. Good luck. That's why his name is Mini Soldier, because he collects like action figures. Oh my God, this guy is so crazy, dude. He's a Nazi Funko Pop enjoyer. Dude, why is the GOP like this? I guess they've always been like this, but they had like maybe better OPSEC, or the internet wasn't like this. Like, this is happening a lot more frequently in the post-Trump era for the GOP, like the Herschel Walker stuff, right? Like, that was an insanely silly person to run. Like, it made no sense. Even Dr. Oz made no goddamn sense to run. And now you have like Carrie Lake. You have that exploded troop guy in Nevada. Like, you have all these dudes that are like serial losers that have no experience whatsoever. George Santos is another one. Madison Cawthorn, Blake Masters.
That some of your campaign staff have quit. Can you tell us if that's true or not?
Absolutely not, and we are not getting out of this race. There are people who are counting on us to win this race because, again, we don't want a governor who's going to be a person that can't be counted on to tell.
Man, I love this country. Oh God, it's such a beautiful nation. This is it. This is where American politics makes the least sense, but also somehow makes the most sense. You know what I mean? It's so good. Look at the Chiron. North Carolina GOP nominee for governor made dozens of disturbing comments on porn forum. Angels Nude Africa message board. Anything goes 2010-04. My wife's sister. I'm currently having an affair with my wife's sister, and I just need a place to say out loud that she has the best smelling, best tasting pussy and asshole in the universe. Nude Africa message board. Anything goes 2011. Had me another hot morning with the wife's sister. She brought along her laptop this time, and we watched some vids here on Nude Africa. The one that really got us hot was called Wet Anal. That vid got her pussy soaking wet, and y'all know what I did, right? That ass was wet, slick, and good, and pissy, and I licked and sucked that pussy and asshole till my face was covered in her funky juices. Then she sucked my dick. I can't read the rest. I should have stopped from the... Man, listen. If I gotta do this, I gotta do it right. You know what I mean? Then she laid back while I greased that asshole with her pussy juice and wet. Watching my big dick slide in and out of that asshole takes my breath away. Another thing she does that might seem strange is that when we hang out, she will sometimes wear her pussy juice like what the wear her pussy juice like perfume? Whenever I read the next sentence, I'm like, it can't get worse. And then it always does. Meaning she will smear it behind her ears, on her neck, and on her wrist. So every time I get near her, I smell her delightful scent. What does this mean? He's saying like he loves it when his girlfriend smells like piss? Okay, let's ask the real question. Do you think this is real? As in, like, obviously he wrote this, but do you think he really did this or is he just flexing on a porn forum? Because I don't think he fucked his wife's sister. I think he's just fantasizing about his wife's sister and is simply like, he wrote it, but I think it's fan fiction. You have to read this next. Latin prayers of the rosary. Okay, dude, listen. Credo in Deum Patrem omnipotentem, creatorem caeli et ari. Ameno, ameno. Oh my God. It's confirmed fan fiction. His wife is an only child, has no siblings. Per her biography, she runs some family foundation. I called it. I told you it was a fantasy. I know my hogs. Every part of this story is just increasingly more unhinged. From Rufio, here are some of the posts he made that they can't show on the news. This post is, Mark Robinson probably has psychiatric issues. For writing his mini soldier on Nude Africa, Robinson said he did not care about a celebrity having an abortion. I don't care. I just want to see the sex tape. In another thread, commenters considered whether to believe the story of a woman who says she was by her taxi driver while intoxicated. In response, Robinson wrote, and the moral of the story, don't f a white bitch. Robinson, who would become North Carolina's first black governor if elected, also repeatedly maligned civil rights leader Martin Luther King Jr., attacking him in such intense terms that a user accused him of being a white supremacist. Get that commie bastard off the National Mall, Robinson wrote about the dedication of the memorial to King in Washington, D.C. by then President Barack Obama. I'm not in the KKK. They don't let blacks join. If I was in the KKK, I would have called him Martin Lucifer. Okay. In the pornographic forums, I will not say that last word. In the pornographic forums, Robinson revealed his unvarnished thoughts on issues such as race, gender, and abortion, which is probably the perfect place to reveal your unvarnished thoughts about issues pertaining to race, gender, and abortion. Writing in a forum discussing black Republicans in October 2010, Robinson stated, unprovoked, "I'm a black Nazi." That same month, Robinson wrote in another post that he supported the return of slavery. Slavery is not bad. Some people need to be slaves. I wish they would bring slavery back. I would certainly buy a few. Mark Robinson, a black man, is writing in a black porn forum about, as a black man, wanting to own slaves. This is yet another instance where like real life outflanks anything that you consider unhinged to be written in like literature. This is literally worse than Uncle Ruckus. On March 2012, Robinson wrote that he preferred the former leader of Nazi Germany, Adolf Hitler, over the leadership in Washington during the administration of Barack Obama. I'd take Hitler over any of the that's going on in Washington right now, he wrote. Robinson's comment on Nude Africa often frequently contained derogatory and racial slurs directed at black, Jewish, and Muslim people. In a series of 7 posts in October 2011, Robinson disparaged Martin Luther King in such intense terms, calling him a commie bastard, worse than a maggot, a hoe, phony, and a huckster, that a user in the thread accused him of being in the KKK. Robinson responded by directing a slur at King. We already read that part. On October 2010, Robinson used the anti-Semitic slur. What? Dude, I've been online for a very long time. I didn't even know that this was a slur. What is it, like shortened for Hebrew? Is that what it is? This dude is, oh my God, he is like doing 4chan. Actually, I don't even think they know about this 4chan. I would have thought he would have hit that like K word when discussing how he liked the show Good Times, developed by Norman Lear, saying the show itself was a bunch of written liberal bullshit. I guess that is the term he's saying. Like Jews wrote it. While discussing the Taliban, he referred to Muslims as little rag-headed bastards and said that if Muslims took over, liberals would be the first ones to be beheaded. Robinson also used homophobic slurs frequently, calling other users the F slur. In a largely positive forum on Nude Africa discussion featuring a photo of 2 men kissing after one returned from a military deployment, Robinson wrote the sole negative comment. "That's some old sick ass F-word bullshit," he wrote. Yeah, bro, it's such a weird thing to say that the ADL doesn't have it in his database, bro. Wow. You think he was inventing it, or you think he went to like ancient Egypt? Like you think he went to the tomes of racism, like dusted off one of like the oldest books you could find to like find it, you know? He just like pushed aside like the cobwebs and shit and just unlocked it. The one true slur. Oh, here, this is the other fun part. Despite what Mark Robinson's takes were on MLK, here is how Donald Trump referred to him. Not once, but twice, as a matter of fact.
And he's been an unbelievable Lieutenant Governor, Mark Robinson. I heard him, and by the way, his wife is much more lovely than he is, I can tell you that, and she's my friend. Thank you, darling, for being here. But, you know, I heard him coming in on the plane. I was listening, and I said to the people on the plane, watch this. This is Martin Luther King on steroids, okay? Now, I told that to Mark. I said, I think you're better than Martin Luther King. I think you are Martin Luther King times 2.
Wait.
Martin Luther King times 2. And he looked at me, and I wasn't sure, was he angry because that's a terrible thing to say, or was he complimented?
Bro, that makes so much sense. Oh my God. Donald Trump was like, you're a black guy. Every black loves Martin Luther King. You're just like him, but better. And he was like, no, I hate him, actually. I hate him. Why are you comparing me to that commie bastard?
I have never figured it out, but I'm telling you, he's one of, right? When I said that to you, you looked like, I don't know if I like that comment. You should like it because you are outstanding.
Trump is literally woke. He's like, you should like it, dumbass. Oh my God, he's woke. Oh my God, Trump is too woke for Mark Robinson. Oh my God.
And you're going to be the next governor, so that's going to be very cool.
By the way, this is also a funny moment, but having the 2024 election may be decided by a scandal about a post a governor made on a site that looks like this. Turn up your Winamp. This is the millennials election, baby. Yeah. Winamp. It really whips the llama's ass.
Winamp. It really whips the llama's ass.
That just unlocked something in my mind, dude. Holy sh! What a beautiful story, man. What a beautiful, wonderful story. One of the ways the CNN author connected him was the bizarre redneck phrase used by both accounts. Uncommon phrases used by Mini Soldier and Robinson. Here are several examples of unique phrases used by both Mini Soldier on New to Africa and by North Carolina Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson. I don't give a frog's fat ass where that vid came from. Note to the news media. I don't give a frog's fat ass about Bill Cosby, Mike Brown, Mike Brown's mama, baby, daddy, Ray Rice, or that heifer who talks smack about Obama's kids. I really don't give a frog's fat behind who Serena Williams married. Can he still drop out of the race? He could, but will he? That's the real question. And it seems he will not be.
Hey guys, Lieutenant Governor Robinson and your Republican nominee for governor as well, of course. Well, guys, the news media is at it again. My opponent is at it again. You all have seen the half-truths and outright lies of Josh Stein on these ads over and over again. And now a story leaked by him to CNN is appearing now. Let me reassure you, the things that you will see in that story, those are not the words of Mark Robinson. You know my words, you know my character, and
those are the words of Mini Soldier, who also happens to be Mark Robinson, 100%.
You know that I have been completely transparent in this race.
I love that he just even gave in and said half truths, because it's like, I mean, dude, even half of that shit is still ass. You know what I mean? Like, you should have just not even said half truths. You know what I mean?
And before, folks, this race right now, our opponents are desperate to shift the focus here from the substantive issues and focus on what you are concerned with to salacious tabloid trash. We cannot allow that to happen.
I do want to take a moment and recognize that as much as we are making fun of this big boy, he has demonstrated incredible restraint. After all, he is obviously a massive anti-Semite, and he's running against a Jewish dude. And he has not once, as far as we know, on camera, said some anti-Semitic shit about his opponent. So that requires a tremendous amount of restraint from a man who very simply put has none of it. Okay, he does not have a single single fraction of restraint when it comes to gooning, it seems, because not many have gone into porn debt. This is a man who has openly quoted Hitler, yet he hasn't said something openly anti-Semitic thus far, which is shocking.